All right. So I am going to mute everybody, but knowing that everybody can still hear me. Am I red? Did I turn really bright red?
Yes, you did.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Good evening and welcome. Welcome to your virtual classroom. Now, I had requested that people try to show up about 10 minutes early just in case they ran into problems getting on, and it looks like I've got texts coming out of my ears, and I can't respond to any more of them. I just got to like out of sight, out of mind, and just be thankful that all of you guys made it and you're here. I see Consuelo, you have Lisa, and I can see Vondia, and I can see Ann, so that's great. So welcome everybody. What a great setup! You all did a good job doing that. Yeah, you look good on that sofa too. Sweet. Okay, so if there are any breakdowns with the audio or video, so everybody listen up, okay? Look up here. Thank you. If there's any breakdowns, Joanne, you're going to be in charge of communicating with me if there's a breakdown. And all you're going to do is raise your hand, and I'll come to you and you can tell me if there's a problem, okay? Because we have too many people on the call. If I have lots of people trying to tell me issues, it'd be really difficult, okay? So I trust that everybody I can see got on the call pretty easily and without issue. Congratulations. You are all muted in this moment. And if you would, take a look on your screen, either with your mouse or you can touch the screen to determine how to raise your hand. And I'd like for everybody, if you will, to raise your hand. Not your real hand. Christine, your virtual hand. Your virtual hand, not your real hand. Okay, Charlie, I see yours. Tanya, you got yours. So far, you two are the only one. Rasha, I got yours. Thank you. You can put them down. I see that Vondi and Ann are raising their real hands, but I don't want your real hands. I need you to raise your virtual hand. Tanya, you can lower yours. I see Barbara's looking at her screen trying to figure it out. Okay, I'm going to lower it for, there you go. You got it. Leonard, can you raise your hand? Susan Harden, can you raise your hand? Run your mouse over the screen or your finger. Whoever HTC, that must be, who is that? Okay, I put that one down. HTC 10. Is that you, Consuela? Who's the HTC 10? I don't know who that is. Okay. Consuelo, I see you raising your real hand, but okay, here, I'll tell you what, I'll unmute you so we can figure out what's going on. Consuelo, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Is the HTC 10, is that you on the screen?
Yes.
Okay, all right, got it. You got your hand done, that's good. Charlie, that's all yours. Chris, see if you can do it. No? No? Okay. So all you need to do is either touch the screen or run your mouse over it. Charlie, you want to tell them what you see that you could raise your hand? Because I don't see the same thing that you see.
Yes.
Yeah. Gene, I got you.
On the bottom of the screen, there's a participant. There's invite, participant, share screen. Click on the participants, and that'll open the dialog box on the right. And then there's another that says mute me or raise hand.
You see it, Chris? Perfect. Okay, Chris, I got yours. Kara, I got yours. Gene, I got yours.
Great.
All right, very good. Good job, guys. All right, let me just mute everybody again. So what do you think? It's pretty cool having this mutual classroom, right? Except for all the people on phones. We're going to have to get those suckers. Deborah, I got yours. I lowered your hand for you, unless you want to talk to me. No, we're doing it. Okay, Leonard, your hand's up again. Quit doing that. HTC 10, stop it. Okay, guys, we got to get started. We got a lot of work to do, okay? So thank you for whatever you dealt with and worked on to get here with us today. I really appreciate it. And as you know, everybody is currently muted, and you can raise your hand at any time and I'll call on you. We both just have to be aware it's not a private conversation. I thought in my own mind that it was. You know, it's kind of like at the live event. I hope it didn't get recorded, but I went to the restroom, and when I came out, I said, "Oh hell, my microphone was still on." Okay. When you raise your hand, just hang tight, and I'll come and get you. Okay. If you're not on a computer, you are not going to be able to use that function. And so far, I don't know any way for you to alert us that you want to get on. So we'll kind of work that out as we go. I want to welcome everybody who is in the course. I also want to extend a special welcome to those of you who missed Classroom 1. So I'm glad to see you here. I'm glad you're on. I hope you got yourself prepared by listening to the recording. If you didn't, we will work things out as we go. I also want to welcome any new participants who joined us tonight, and I know that you had to jump through some hoops. And I want to acknowledge you for whatever hoops you've jumped through, and I want you to know that between myself and the design team, we will make sure that you're up to speed and that there's nothing missing for you. So with that, I want to quickly introduce the design team. I'll go ahead and start with Joanne because I introduced folks at the live classroom and you didn't get to see her because she's virtual. Well, you don't get to see her tonight because her screen is blocked. But you can just say hello to the green screen. That's Joanne. She's on the design team. Leonard recently joined the design team. So Leonard, just wave your hand so people know who you are. Thank you. And we also have Rasha, who is my partner in crime, as well as on the design team. And we have Charlie. So Charlie, wave, let people know who you are. All right, now tonight, these folks will be participating just like any participant. However, in between sessions, they are our coaches. And just so you know, every one of us, that is the design team and myself, we have gone through the course completely. So we're on the other side of it. So how would you use us as a coach is we can support you in some of the stumbling blocks that we know exist. Some we left there on purpose because they served a purpose. Others are just some things that not all of us go through, but some of us went through. So we're aware of that, and we want to support everybody to get through the course powerfully. I just
Well, yeah.
don't know how that happened, but as it is right now, maybe this is how. As it is right now, you can unmute yourself. I don't want you to, but you can. I've got it set up that way. I trust everybody managed the assignments the best that you can, so let's just move into the work. Class 2, the Quantum Leap, Living Inside Energy. The intention for tonight is that you leave the class being that it's all in the heart. So tonight, the intention is it's all in the heart. So let me just kind of give you a little insight into what I mean. Consider that you and I have lived most, if not all of our lives in our heads. We have been that our brain and our mind is who we are. At some level, we're connected to our physicality as who we are, like who we are as our body. We are that who we are is our emotions, our mind, and our brain. That's how we've lived. Whether you've believed it or not is irrelevant. Culturally, it's how we've been trained, and it's how we live our lives. Well, a little over 20 years ago, a group of scientists in Santa Cruz, California, called HeartMath, started studying the qualities of the heart. And what they have found is that the heart is 64% neurons. So what does that mean? Well, what else is neurons? How about the brain? So you could say that the heart is very similar to the brain. And so they started to research it more. And what they found is that the heart actually communicates to the brain far more than the brain communicates with the heart. In fact, when you feel certain emotions like sadness, happiness, elation like not love but a passion, it starts in the heart, and the heart signals the brain to release the hormones to feel it in the body. So it's really interesting stuff. And what we want to get in touch with is our heart intuition. So tonight is the first class where we will be working with the intuition skill, the first intuition skill, called heart consciousness. That is getting conscious or aware of the heart. See, our bodies are very loud, aren't they? When you're achy or in pain, your body screams at you. You're hungry, you're horny, you're whatever. Your body's loud, and it grabs a lot of attention. Your psyche is really loud. Think about it. If you're dealing with something wrong right now, like how many of you, you can just raise your real hand, how many of you are dealing with some problems right now? How many of you just came out of dealing with some problems? How many of you are perfect right now? And what I want you to know about being perfect right now is you're on the way to some problems. Because life, just the way it is, you're either exiting a problem, dealing with a problem, or getting ready for the next one. So our psyche is always chewing on something, trying to fix something, always in some way acting on our behalf. And we lose touch with our intuition. And I think that for most of us, even those of you who are very intuitive, would agree that there's a lot of work we can do around intuition, because we are leaving the information age, exiting the information age, and we're entering the intuition age. So, let me see. You should see my notes, they're a mess. I know that's very impressive, right? All right, I want to go into the bliss point exercise. And most of you have done the practice, and I'd like to check in with you as we move into doing the practice together. What is a full moment? So you might remember we distinguished a full moment. Now, those of you who are new to the course, it may not be present for you. Don't worry about it. Just listen for what is a full moment. So somebody raise your hand if you would, and just share out loud, what is a full moment? Okay, Joanne, but it didn't unmute you, so give me a sec. Unmute yourself, Joanne, will you? Okay, don't. I got you. Joanne, what is a full moment?
A full moment is a point of bliss that feels great, right? Like for me, a full moment was when I gave birth to my babies. That moment where I connected with them was a full moment, complete satisfaction, connecting to life, happy in the moment. And
okay, good, thanks. Okay, so a full moment is a real moment in time where you felt full. You felt full of gratitude. You felt full of love. acceptance. So everybody on the call, on the webinar, has had moments in time where you were full and you had this experience of gratitude. And I'm trying to think, Joanne, what's the other word? You're full of gratitude and?
Bliss?
No, not bliss. Okay. For whatever reason, okay, Charlie. But wait a minute, Charlie. For whatever reason, I call on you, but it doesn't unmute you on its own.
Appreciation.
You got it. Appreciation. Thank you. You're full of gratitude and appreciation. Go ahead and mute yourself again, Charlie. Thank you for that. So everybody has distinguished this, except for a couple of you. You may not have gotten that work done. Deborah, you had something?
It pretty much echoes what Joanne said.
All right, thanks.
Okay.
A moment in time where you were full of gratitude and appreciation. Appreciation was the word that I lost. So most everybody has shared. Deborah, go ahead and mute yourself back again if you would. So everybody has those moments. And the reason why we call that moment to mind is so that you can experience what it feels like to be full. Do you understand? Listen, you and I go through life and we have moments where we're full, but we don't get in touch with what it feels like so that we can create it on our own. So you're now going to start getting in touch with what does it feel like. So if you would, call to mind, everybody, call to mind a full moment and allow yourself to feel, experience the fullness of gratitude and appreciation. So take a few seconds and just call something to mind. And if you have it to mind, just put your hand on your heart and we're going to gently but deeply breathe into our heart space. You go ahead and begin breathing. I'll talk a little bit and I promise to shut up too. You're breathing in gratitude and appreciation into the heart space. And I want you to breathe out the quality and the purity of who you really are. And we're going to do 3 nice breaths just like that. Very good. Thank you. Allow yourself to come back. Very, very good. Now notice any tension in your body and see if you can just let go. It will start in your heart space. Relax it. Notice your shoulders. Let go. And notice as you let go, you can breathe just a little bit easier. Very, very good. Now, I am going to put you in virtual groups. You'll be in groups of 3. And once I get you in the groups, I'd like for you to share what was your experience over the past week of doing the Bliss Point every day. For those of you who are new, you could just share your current experience and even have questions or anything like that. So don't be afraid to talk about anything that's connected to the work. And how this is going to happen is I'll start creating the breakout groups. And let's see, why is it not doing that? Could be 7, okay. And I'll count down. And once I hit, when I say now, introduce yourselves to each other. Joanne, am I in a group with you? Okay, so I have Christine and Joanne, right?
Yes.
I think we're in a group together. Christine, can you hear us? Christine?
Christine?
I don't know what's happening with Christine.
The unmuted sign is gone, so she should be able to hear us.
So I'm sending her a text. I'm trying to figure out how to get to the other rooms. Oh, there they are. I'm going to leave your room for a moment.
Sure.
Kids that I don't, it's like you're supposed to carry with you the love and appreciation you feel out into your life. And I don't feel like that's
Barbara? Susan? Consuelo? Are all of you in a group? Are all of you in a group together?
Yes.
Oh, God. Stop playing. Next week's the poster. That's what Edwin said. He's like,
Barbara? Susan, can you hear me?
What about meeting on the 24th?
Oh, I see what I've got wrong here. It's this one that needs to be
Is
muted.
that
Okay.
too?
There we go. Now, Susan, I can hear you, right?
I think so. Can you?
Ah, finally, yeah. So it looks like the system threw you in a group with Consuela, and that's very loud over there where they are. So Vandia and Ann, can you hear me? Vandia and Ann, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Week is
Okay,
week
so
Wednesday is September 1st.
and I hear a guy. Who's the guy?
I don't know where he's coming from. There's 4 of us here already, so can we just be in a group?
Well, the problem, you could, but I don't know how to do that because the way the system automatically throws the groups together.
Oh.
So you at this moment are in a group with Susan. So is there any way that you guys can, it could be the 4 of you, Susan, Vandia, Ann, and Consuela?
Yes, and we also have Lisa Adelit here.
And Lisa, sorry, Lisa, I knew you were there. Okay, so you guys try that out. I just came in to see what was happening.
Okay.
Susan, is it going to work for you? Can you hear them okay?
I can hear them. Right now I can't see them.
Oh, you can't?
Oh.
No.
Did you unmute us?
No, he unmuted us. He can't unmute us.
Oh. How come
We can unmute because he muted us at one point. But he unmuted us.
to hear each other so we can hear her and she can hear us?
Okay, now I can see, I see Ann and I think Vandia.
Hey, Thomas.
Are you all doing okay here?
Yeah, don't tell Thomas that I cheated. Hey, Thomas. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. I said, how are you guys? You doing okay here?
Yeah, we're doing.
doing awesome.
You can always grab that too. Okay. Do you want to yield them after the floor?
Yeah, I'm on with that.
No, you don't have to. I'm just letting you ask.
Okay, but now.
oh, he's bringing us back.
Nope, I'm
Are you
just
with
joining you to see how it's going. You guys doing okay here?
We're doing good. We're including Tanya through the chat. We can't hear her.
Oh, okay. But Yeah, she's not sure why she doesn't have sound. I'll tell you what, I think it's because, are you listening on your computer or are you on a phone, Tanya? Because you need to dial in on a phone. If you're trying to do it through your computer, it won't work. And Kara is new to the course, so make sure you get Kara included. And it's good news that Rasha is here because she's one of the coaches, so she'll be able to support you more so. Okay, I'm on my iPad and listening by phone. So the iPad, okay, well, that's the way it should be, but maybe it's your headset that's not working on your phone, Tanya. Well, maybe she's got it muted, huh? All right, I'm going to go and see other people. You all continue.
Okay. I experience peace at the moment, but it hasn't.
Who do we have here?
Cliff.
Cliff is here. I don't see you, but I see Jeannie. I see Jeannie.
Well, right now, we're in a conversation with Joanne or Joan.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
How's that happening?
Well, now, wait a minute. I'm in a conversation with her through Barbara's phone because her phone is on the speaker. I couldn't get to talk to any or hear anybody.
No, Cliff's on the phone with
Thomas.
I'm moving on. And who do I have here? I see everybody's muted in this room. Okay, you guys, I think you were muted. Who is this?
Hi,
Who is that?
Tanya.
Oh, Tanya, now I know what happened, honey. So you dialed in and you went on the computer, but you didn't use your ID number. So you're on twice. So you're in two different rooms. You're in one room with Rasha on the computer. You're in this room on your phone, and your phone was muted. I got it unmuted now, but I don't know. All right, we're going to bring everybody back in a minute. At least this gives us the opportunity to figure out what the hell's going on, right? Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. Let's see if I got to go to one more. Okay, who did I just unmute? Hi, this is Thomas.
Hey, this is Wade.
Hi, Wade. I think I had you muted.
You did?
Is there somebody else on here with you?
No.
Huh. I bet there is, and they just don't know it. All right. We're going to go back to the main room here.
Okay.
Let's see if I can figure out how to do that. Keep running in meeting for all. Return to the main.
Why is that guy on?
All right. I think I brought everybody back. Did I?
One of the guys that he helps.
Yeah. So that may have been a breakdown. There's Wade. Okay. One breakout room still. Who do we have in the breakout room? Close all rooms. There we go. In 30 seconds, all the rooms will close. Everybody will be back.
Okay. Well, thank you, Joanne.
Wow, it takes it a while.
Honest, I'm like.
That was a really good.
Cereal.
Okay. How does that work? Not start. Oh, cool. Cool. Okay, everybody, are you back? Joanne's got her hand up, so there must be a breakdown. Joanne.
We had issues with people not being able to hear.
Yes, let me tell you what happened. I figured it out, but it took me a long time. So a number of people they came in on their computer and they dialed in, but they didn't use their participant ID, so it has them twice. So they got a picture of them, and we got a phone, and the computer doesn't know the difference, so it threw them in separate groups. So you'd have their face, but not their sound. Another group would have their sound and not their face. All right. Yeah, it's very good. Too bad when we did our testing, there wasn't enough of us to run into that problem. We only had 6 of us testing, so we didn't run into that issue, and we all joined the correct way. So this is good. So everybody on the call, here's what you want to know. You want to make sure that when you come in next week, you get on the computer first, and it will give you the dial-in number, the meeting number, and a participant number. And if you do that, it matches your phone to your face. Get it?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's not a big deal other than, you know, I'm sure it wasn't comfortable for some of you, and I'm really sorry about that. So let's just hear, how about we just hear in the big room, you know, the virtual classroom, somebody share what opened up for you, what was present for you out of having practiced the Bliss Point exercise. Just raise your hand, and I'm going to mute everybody somehow. Come on now, kids. There we go. Rasha, go ahead.
So for me, practicing it this week, one of the things I noticed is that it immediately takes me to a place of calm. So I could have whatever going on in my day, and I'll just take it's like my own little timeout. Like, don't get caught up. And it seems to really work for me. And then I also enjoyed doing it like in the end of the evening. It was just a way to kind of, there was a lot of calm. It brought calm to my system.
Very good. Thank you. So for some people, they'll say it brings them to a centered space. It has them be calm. But I want you to now, as you move on and you practice in the future, I want you to start using the exercise to get heart conscious, to get very present to my heart is open or closed. So if the heart is open, what does that feel like? Somebody, what does it feel like when your heart is open? Raise your hand. Okay. All right, Charlie.
To me, it feels like wholeness.
And when you say wholeness, say more about that. What does that mean?
My experience is that this sounds trite, but that there's nothing wrong in that moment, and that I just feel like I'm whole. I don't know how else to describe it.
Okay. So would it be the same as being centered? Would you say it's peaceful?
Definitely peaceful.
Okay.
And an aspect of being centered, centeredness, yes.
Okay.
And present. I think I'm,
And it's fast.
Yes.
It's very fast. I mean, you're talking less than 90 seconds, actually. Thanks, Charlie.
Yes.
Okay, Leonard?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. We can hear you, yes.
Okay, yeah. I feel like complete and total acceptance. I just accept everything and everybody and the way the world is with no racket, and it's peaceful.
Okay, good. So I want everybody to take note. When the heart is open, there is a feeling of acceptance. Now, I don't know if you can imagine this kind of life, but I'm going to mention to you conceptually a particular kind of life. A particular kind of life where no matter what is happening, who you are is open-hearted about it. Accepting. No resistance. Now listen, we are all human beings, and we're loaded with resistance. We wake up every day with some thought of what should be or shouldn't be or could be or we wish it was. We have very small periods when who we are is completely aligned with the way life is this very moment. Thanks, Leonard. That was great. I saw another hand up, but it's gone. Was it you, Rasha? It was. Okay. Let me undo you here. There you go. Rasha, you're up.
I think pretty much what Leonard said, but also I feel that things move through me. When I have an open heart, I'm not as attached to what's going on. It's like, okay, yeah. I can just let it be. Things can move in, they can move out, and I don't lose myself in that process.
Exactly. Very, very good. Okay. So, oh, Charlie. Okay. Go ahead, Charlie.
So I wanted to share this experience. I have been practicing the Bliss Point maybe once or twice a day, maybe 3 times, when there was nothing wrong.
Yes.
Just the practice. But the other day I was in the middle of, Leonard worded it, sewage. I was upset about something. I was really upset. And in that moment, I thought, I'm just going to do the Bliss Point right now. And
what happened?
Everything disappeared. I just felt full, like you said, acceptance, open. It was an incredible experience.
Yeah, very, very good. And what I want to say to everybody about that is, Charlie, how long have you been practicing the intuition skill, heart consciousness, roughly?
Maybe 3 or 4 months, maybe.
Yeah. So what he just expressed is the future of something. Because I'm going to tell you, if you're upset and you run and try to do the Bliss Point, I applaud you. Because most people, when they're upset, the furthest thing from their mind is doing any open heart work at all. Because you have to be somewhat open-hearted just to do the exercise and give it all you got. Right, Charlie? I mean, it's a fact. But now you're at a place where you can shut down and you know the Bliss Point, 90-second exercise will open you back up. Fantastic. Thank you, my friend.
Yep.
Okay. So the Bliss Point then is designed to get you heart conscious. It is not a breathing exercise. It is a heart exercise. So for those of you for whom you did not do it this past week for any reason, it might be because you just started, or it might be you were lazy and didn't do it. This week, do the Bliss Point exercise at least 1 time a day, and you're also going to have a very short meditation that you're going to be doing this week also, and we'll talk about that just a little bit later, okay? Getting my notes. I'm going to make sure. So where does energy move? So don't answer yet. Don't raise your hands yet. Let's just talk a little bit about physical and non-physical energy. In classroom 1, we talked about physical and non-physical energy, and somebody said, well, I don't really see them as different. I see them as the same. And there is some element of truth to that. But I want you to try on that there is energy that comes from calories, a physical kind of energy that you eat food, you have calories, you have a particular kind of energy, but then there's another kind of energy, I don't care if you eat food or not, that is heart energy. Think of this. You fall in love. How much food do you need to have energy when you fall in love? Not much. How about you're in love and that beloved pisses you off really bad, I mean hurts you, doesn't all your energy go out the window? It takes everything you have just to get behind the wheel of the car and get to work and do what you have to do. So there is a particular kind of non-physical energy, and your heart space is where it moves through. So love/life energy moves through the heart first. And if the heart is closed, then mostly what you have is a blockage of energy. So consider that love is life energy. Fear is the underlying element. Okay, somebody. Thanks, Eric. So, hi, Eric, and you are unmuted. So, the fear underlies any negative emotion, jealousy, sadness, upset, anger, and it blocks that energy from moving through. It makes you less open and alive. If you remember, we called it life-consuming. So the practice that we're creating for this upcoming week is to get a sense of what it feels like to be open-hearted, what it feels like when the heart is closed. I named it the Open Heart Project. So this is how it goes, and this is what you want to think through. Focus on what it feels like when my heart is open. So remember, we talked about all of us here knows what it feels like to get burned. You know what it feels like if you touch a hot stove. You know what it feels like if you put your hand in a flame. We know what that feels like. I want you to get that same kind of feels like when the heart is open. What does it feel like when it's closed? When the heart is closed, what does it feel like? So the general emotions of happiness, joy, excitement are connected to an open heart, while sadness, depression, blame, shame, and guilt are connected to the heart being closed. Feel it. Record it. What does it feel like? Get in touch with it so you can be responsible for living with an open heart. And when I say living with an open heart, I mean in the face of anything. So no matter what's happening, I'm intending to keep my heart open. So some of you know I've been traveling this past week, and I was doing some work in Denver, Colorado. And I got to Denver, and I had lost, so I keep two phones, one for business and one personal. I had lost my business phone. I had left it on the freaking airplane, and all my reservations were on that phone. So I arrived in Denver. It was kind of late, and I couldn't find my reservation for my car. How many of you ever go to Denver? Let me tell you something. Since they legalized pot, everybody goes to Denver. It is the busiest place I've been to in a really long time, and there are no cars available. I can't find my reservation. There's none available that I call. So I have to get in Uber and go to my hotel. Well, the hotel that I got was forever away from where I needed to be because the price was right. It was $150 a night. Everything else was $300 and $400. And I'm talking just regular Holiday Inn rooms. I was shutting down, man. I'm like upset with myself. How could I leave my phone? I know better. I put it in the seat back. I never put stuff in the seat back for that very reason. There's no cars. I pay $50 to get to the hotel, and it's so out in the middle of nowhere, I have to get a taxi to go to a grocery store just to have food, right? And I noticed, like, it was closing down. And who was going to get the butt of that shut down heart but the guy who's supposed to be checking me in? So I'm at the hotel, getting ready to check in. The guy is doing other things. Now, I can see Rasha making that funny smile because she knows how I get. It's like, if we're supposed to be on task, let's get on task, right? And it was so great because what happened was, as he came to start to talk to me, I felt it welling up. Like I wasn't going to be a nice person. And in that moment, I opened up. And when I opened up, now listen, it could be my imagination, right? But I don't think so. It looked to me like he opened up. Like all of a sudden, I got served. All of a sudden, I felt like this person actually wanted to take care of me. It was not that way when I walked in. So the practice of opening the heart is one practice. The ultimate practice is keeping it open no matter what. Like, what would my life been like if from the moment I landed, lost my phone, didn't have a car, and had to go forever and a day to get to my hotel? What if all of that was the same experience as kids have standing in line at Six Flags? They don't mind standing in line because they are looking forward to their adventure. What if who we are is that having an open heart gives us access to the adventure? And that is the ultimate game here. It's not about opening the heart when it shuts down as much as it is opening it up and keeping it open. So how do you open the heart? Well, you breathe into the heart space. So the bliss point gives you the practice of breathing into the heart space. You give up and let go of emotions that lend itself to shutting down. So some of the emotions that lend itself to shutting down are what? So I want to get you guys engaged. Somebody, come on. What are some of the emotions that naturally lend itself to shutting down your heart? Raise your hand. Now, Christine, you happen to be unmuted. So how about if you just jump in, will you? Just throw something in there. What's an emotion that lends itself to the heart shutting down? Okay, Deborah.
Anger, tiredness.
Yeah, so when you're tired and angry, it lends itself to the heart shutting down. And how do you feel when the heart is shut down, Deborah?
Closed.
It's closed, but what does it feel like?
It's kind of a, I just want to say non-receptive. It's a wall.
Very good. Non-receptive. Okay, good. Thank you. Got that. All right, I'm coming to Charlie. Okay, Charlie.
Anxiety.
Mm-hmm. So there's a kind of anxiousness. But what is that anxiousness connected to?
I would say fear of like uncertainty or something of that nature.
Okay.
For me.
Okay, got it. Thanks. Rasha.
For me, I feel heavy, like I physically feel like my shoulders begin to kind of come in a little bit.
Yeah, me too.
And my breath is shorter, and I withdraw. I want to isolate. I don't want to be around people. I don't want to talk like that.
So it starts off physical for you, and then you want to isolate yourself. Yeah, I can relate to that. Me too. Joanne?
When I have the perception that life sucks, I get pissy, and God bless the next person on my path. Because I will be nasty, and it might not be their fault, but I feel like I have to fight my way through to get what I want.
I've never seen that, but I got it. Thanks, Joanne. Okay, so the root of most of our minds is shame. We have some form of shame that leads to guilt, and they're both connected to a kind of fear. And this is the practice, is letting go of that fear. Eckhart Tolle says that we create and maintain anxiety because it gives us a sense of identity. So perhaps that explains why we often hold on to pain and suffering far beyond its ability to serve us, because there's a fear that we won't actually exist if we really and truly let it go. Susan Powers, it looks like you're open. Can you talk? I guess that would be a no. On our screen, you're not muted, but maybe you can just hear us, and that's all, huh? Okay. Is that you, Susan?
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Doing good.
Yeah, so now we got some communication with you and Joe, yeah?
Yes.
So if you don't mind, when the heart is closed, what does that feel like to you?
I heard Rasha and even yourself say it, isolation.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel a sense of, I can actually feel like redness, the color red, and anger inside.
Yeah.
And then my first reaction is to isolate or eat.
Got it. Got it. Very good. Thank you for stepping in. You don't have to mute yourself. I'm going to mute you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, well, I said that, and it actually looks like I can't. So mute yourself. Yeah, I don't know why.
Start. Okay.
Yeah, very good. So another exercise that we did, or I asked you to do, and you'll be doing it every session, is think of yourself as a giver and receiver of love. And for those of you who are new, if you didn't have a chance to listen to the first class, when we talk about love, we're not talking about an emotion. What we've all agreed is that love, which is life energy, can evoke emotions, but in and of itself is not an emotion. It is life energy. It's ever present. It's ever moving. And the only time it's not present is if we somehow have blocked it. And the block comes from a fundamental fear. So any experience of guilt or shame or sadness or anger, all fundamentally is connected to fear. So you think of yourself as a giver and receiver of love, okay? So that is energy coming through and going out, coming in, going out. Look around and be a neutral witness to the basic love energy that shapes you and the world around you. See and feel it everywhere. Be accepting, forgiving, and unconditional in your loving kindness. Breathe love in through all your cells and let it pass through you, touching every part and lighting you up. Then send the love on its way, giving it generously. In other words, lay love on everybody. I want to hear, what was your experience? What happened? Who did you leave out? What did you notice with those that you wanted to, like you're in a experience of laying love and you couldn't do it? So tell me what your experience was. Who did it? What got in the way of it? Like that. Raise your hand. Let's see. I got Charlie. There you are, Charlie. I am finally learning this. Okay, Charlie.
So laying love, Typically I do it either in the morning, maybe at the end of my meditation, or when I'm going to bed. But the people I didn't want to lay love on are people that I think won't help me.
Yeah, got it. And Charlie, did you notice, now everybody, it's like this. If I asked all of you to walk the white painted line on the street, we could all walk that line, right? And every one of us would have a different style in how we walked it. So I'm going to ask you about style, because I don't want everybody to have to do things exactly the same way. But when you were out and about, did you find yourself, like for instance, for me, I'm out doing regular routine stuff. So today I stopped at the grocery store on the way to the airport, and I on purpose was laying love on the people who I was around. So there was a lady who helped me in the aisle. I laid love on her. I was getting checked out. I laid love on her. And believe me, it's not like I go around feeling like that's what I want to do. You understand? So for those of you who are in the room here who think, well, you know, that's just Kuster. He just likes to lay love on people. No, I don't. No, I don't. But the practice creates something that I'm interested in, which is a freedom, which is a kind of power. And so, Charlie, did you practice that way, or did you mostly practice in your meditations and at night?
Mostly in my meditations and at night.
Okay.
But what I have noticed is that I'm having just these open conversations with anybody. Like in the grocery store, when I'm getting gas, I'm way more open and approaching people.
Yeah.
And I experienced, I go, wow, that guy laid love on me. I left the grocery store the other night, and I left an avocado on the counter, and I didn't know it. This guy chased me through the parking lot to give it to me. And I looked and I go, wow, I never thought of myself as a receiver of love, but here it is.
Nice. That's great. I was so I went to Louisville, Kentucky over the weekend. My mother's birthday was on Sunday. She turned 77. And so we decided that we didn't have any time, right? So we thought, well, what an amazing gift to give my mother, but to show up at 1:30 in the morning, surprise her at brunch on Sunday, which was really fun. And then we flew right back. But what my sister-in-law, her name is Mary. Mary and I, now listen, she's been married to my brother, I think they've been married about 25, maybe even 30 years. And we've always had a decent relationship. Don't misunderstand my communication, but we've never been pals. And there have been times when I feel friction with her, but we've never argued. You understand? It's one of those. It's not like there's a problem. But never have I been open-hearted with her. When I see her, I'll hug her. She's my sister-in-law. I treat her good. I love my brother. That's been how it's been for 30 years. Well, since we've been doing the love exercise, I do it throughout the day when I'm around people. And for those of you who are new, it's not like I go up to people and say, hey, I want to lay some love on you. No, I don't want to get arrested. But it's an open-heartedness, a being that I'm laying love, like being somebody, right? But at night, and you guys will be doing this later in the course, I do what's called the body scan. And the body scan is where you lay down in bed before you sleep and you scan your body for any contractions or tension. And you practice letting go, letting go, letting go, and you keep letting go until you actually experience dissolving, just dissolving into the bed, right? And at the point where I have the experience of dissolving, I start to flash pictures across my mind of who I'm laying love on. I most always start with my mother, which will ricochet to my brothers, which ricochets to their wives, which ricochets to the children. And then, of course, I do my spouse, my close people here, and then all my clients. Well, Mary is one of those people. And every time Mary would come across, and then I would have somebody else. And I noticed it, like I was resisting laying love on Mary. Well, I took that on. I'd push it away, and I would say, no, bring it back. What do you have to give up? What do you need to let go of? And I would just let go until I could lay love on Mary. Now, listen, you guys, I went to Louisville. Mary's there. We hug like usual, except I noticed, and this was not on purpose, I noticed I hugged her a little tighter and a little closer, like naturally. And I noticed she responded to it naturally. Okay, the weekend is over. I come home, and I get this fantastic message from her on Facebook. And she said, I just wanted to acknowledge you, Thomas, for what you bring to our family, and that you are always interested in that we're all close and that love is present. She says, I know we've never been buds, but that's okay. I just wanted you to know how I felt. It just touched me so, like that was a full moment, right? It was a full moment. And for the first time, I authentically responded. And I said, you're right, we haven't been buds. And it's not because of anything you've ever did. I've just never known how to love you. And I'm now interested. So that came out of the exercise like a natural breakthrough. I mean, it's a breakthrough. Because in this moment, as I'm talking to you, I love her. And I don't love her just because she's my sister-in-law and I have this obligation. I feel open-hearted for the first time. And I want to backtrack a little bit because there is something, like I told y'all, there was never anything there. That's not true. There was something there. What was there is she and my brother and his kids, they became born again maybe 20 years ago. And when she did that, my experience was, whether it be true or not, my experience was she kind of got a little superior and shut us out. That's kind of how it felt. And then I just didn't know how to be around her. I didn't want to not encourage her belief system. And at the same time, I felt like I wasn't included. I just remembered that. And that's what I let go of when I would flash her across my screen, and I'd push her away and she'd come back. So now I can love her. So somebody else, what your experience, your way of doing it, share something, anything at all. Okay, Joanne, let me just open you up here, Joanne. Go ahead, Joanne.
Mine isn't nearly as deep as yours, but I've been laying love on my community, the city of Vancouver and the state of Washington. And today I was inspired by Chris and Clara, and I got my workout in today before the class so I could get my workout in. But what I noticed is all of a sudden it seemed like everybody in Vancouver was a better driver. People were using their signals. Nobody cut me off. There was lots of space. And I realize that's not a big thing, but sometimes it's very annoying when you're trying to get, your responsibilities at home and you're working, you're doing, and you're trying to eat healthy and you're trying to get your workout and get back by class. And if there's a creep on the road, it kind of gets annoying. But today it was like, I felt like I almost was kissed by all these people. I swear I've seen more signal lights today than I have in the last week combined.
So I wonder, Joanne, if it's more to do with the reticular activating system than it actually being a reality. So for those of you who are relatively new, the reticular activating system is a filter that's located at the base of the brain, and it's designed to filter out anything that's not important to you, because at any given moment, there's millions of bits of data, sensory perceptions, that you and I would go into overload if it didn't get condensed down to what we could actually, not focus on, but process. Yeah, process in a given moment. And as it's like this. If you ever bought a new car, and people buy cars in the United States because they treat it like an expression of their identity. So you go out and you try to choose the car that's your perfect car, right? And then you get your perfect car and you get it and you start driving around. Well, you start seeing your perfect car everywhere because all of a sudden now the brain has deemed this important. And because it's important, you're going to start seeing it everywhere. So I wonder, Joanne, if you doing the work has trained your reticular activating system to let some of the more of the great stuff in that people are doing instead of just the stuff that's annoying. What do you think? Possible?
Absolutely possible. And I also think that when you're laying love on people, you are more accepting of their behaviors. You're not so critical, right?
Yeah.
So the benefit for me was when I got home, I was very at peace. What do I do next? Get on the call. It was just a more pleasurable experience of the day.
Yeah, got it. Thank you. Anybody want to share who you left out? Who did you notice that you left out? And what did you do about it? Come on. I wish the people who are on their phones, I wish I knew how to include you guys, and I don't. So I'm just going to call on a couple of you, and you can tell me to move on if you want. Jeannie, is there anything for you that you could share? You might have your phone on mute, Jeannie.
Can you hear me?
I can, yeah, thank you.
It's a miracle. No, I forgot the question.
The question was there anybody that you noticed that you would leave out of the game laying love on people?
And it's funny, I do it the same way you do, where it starts with my family and kind of goes out, and then in little groups based on whoever's in that group. But my boss. That's me.
Your boss. I think you're on a speakerphone, huh?
No,
I thought.
Oh, there you go.
That's why.
Thank
Sorry.
you.
I was
Yeah.
on speakerphone and talking into the headset at the same time.
Oh, okay, good. Now we can hear you. Thank you for sharing with us, okay?
Sure. Okay, got that worked out now, thanks.
Okay, good. Christine, anything for you?
Well, I just kind of started because I had missed the first class, so I haven't really been doing it.
Okay, good. And have you had the opportunity yet to listen to the recording?
I did, yes. I just listened to it yesterday.
All right, good. Yeah, it was a great class. Okay, so you'll put that in for this week, and it's going to be ongoing anyway. And by the way, it's good to see you, and we missed you at the first class.
Thank you. I'm sorry I missed it.
Yeah, right on. Okay, anybody else? Who did you leave out? What did you notice that you left out? I think I see, okay, I see you, Cliff. I just got to figure out which phone number is yours. Is that you, Cliff? Is that you, Cliff?
No, that's Susie.
Is that you, Cliff? I guess not. Cliff, say something.
Okay, now I'm unmuted.
All right, I got you. Okay, cool. I didn't know which phone number is yours.
Barbara's been trying to raise her hand, and she didn't know how to do it. But, your question was, who have you left out?
Yeah.
I can't, well.
Can you get on speakerphone?
It's not on speakerphone.
Oh.
Not on speakerphone. There is a person who I've left out, and so I'm looking at what it would look like to put that person in my life and to do this exercise with that person. So
yeah,
I'll see how that goes, and I'll let you know next week.
Okay, I got it, buddy. Thank you. So I'm assuming that everybody got their book, Love is Letting Go of Fear. So there's some of you who got it right away. You jumped right into it. Good for you. There's others of you who you've not got it yet. You're waiting for it. Fine. There's others of you who are new and you're thinking, book? I didn't know I needed a book. So there is a book. It's called Love is Letting Go of Fear. And you were asked to read the first 48 pages, which, by the way, is part 1. part 2 and part 3. And it's very meaty. Wasn't it very meaty? Those of you who have read through, it's a very meaty book. And at this point, I listen, you guys, we will have it worked out next week to make sure we can have groups. This is important because that's the part that's now getting left out, because the group work is critical to the whole thing. And I can't put you in groups right now because we have too many people scattered and I can't tell who's who. So next week, or in between now and then, if there's anybody who does not know how to get on so that that doesn't happen, get in communication with me so we can walk through it. Because otherwise we have to do everything as the big group. And as you can see, people are less likely to share. When you get in the groups of 3, you have more to talk about. It's easier, right? And then you don't hold back. When you come in, you're more free to share out loud. But I want to go through and produce a list of key points from that reading. Things that stood out to you as important, or it struck you in a way that was meaningful to you. And if you need to grab the book to look at it, that's fine too, but probably you have some things that really stood out to you right on the top of your head. And if you did, if you'd be willing, please, to raise your hand and just let me know what are some of those key points. And don't make me come after you now, because I will. Maybe that's the way to do it, huh? I think I will. Let me just come out here and see who we can grab. And all right. Who did I just unmute?
Jean.
Jean, come on, girl.
Hi.
Give us some love. Hi. So now you know why you were muted, right? Because you're on your computer and you dialed in, but when you dialed in, you didn't realize you had a participant number, and the participant number puts the two together. Does that make sense?
It does. I basically followed the instructions because on the email it said to do the computer and dial in for audio.
That's right. Yeah. That's accurate. I'm just saying, though, when you go on the computer, it gives you the phone number. It gives you the meeting number. And what you missed, not like a problem, we all did it when we first started. There's a participant number also. And
okay.
The participant, it marries you to the computer picture. That's all.
Okay.
So talk to me. Tell me.
You know, I love this little book. And
yeah.
I got it yesterday, and I spent a couple hours today reading it, and I read it out loud to myself the whole time. And it was so interesting. Like, I couldn't get out of the preface before I cried like 2-3 times. And there was just, even in the preface, like, and I started underlining some things that really struck me.
Okay.
You know, even in the preface, he said they were traveling in another country and people were basically stealing his book in Iran and bootlegging it, and that they didn't make a big deal of it because it is more important to us that love's message reaches those who need it. And just, you know, even as I read it now, I just feel so touched, and that, you know, I just resonated with so much everything that he says in this little book. And
yeah, very good.
Anyway.
No, go ahead. No, please. I wasn't trying to stop you. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And then, you know, again, in the preface there, especially because I'm so connected to so many inmates in prison, there was one part where he talked about a guy who wrote to him and hated his book, and he wrote to the guy, and then he visited the guy, and he said, the guy reread the book and said that he realized that it was the fear he carried in his own mind that was keeping him incarcerated. And that touched me personally for those reasons. And and making it his life's work to bring other people joy and laughter. I just, the whole thing about love and fear, it just really feels like I feel more open after reading this book and like putting some things into words and into like at the forefront of my brain and my heart and my body and my consciousness, really. And I just feel that it's just bringing so much things together that I truly believe. So I'm really excited about it. Yeah.
So what I put down as a key point is love reaches those that we're more interested in love reaching those who need it. And number 2, that the fear I carry in my own mind is what incarcerates me.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. That's great. I'm going to go up here to the ladies with Consuela. So any of you ladies up there? We got Consuela, we have Anne, we have Lisa, we have Vandia. Go ahead, Vandia.
Okay, good. So here's, in reading the book, one of the things that I saw was there's this part where they talk about fear and guilt. And how that has been in my past in the area of relationships with a man. Because the last time I had a relationship was 17 years ago, and I had a lot of fear around it, the way it ended, etc., like that. And I felt guilty because I had all these reasons and thoughts of a story that I made up about myself. So since then, I haven't even had one person ever ask me out or look at me or anything. I mean, probably looked at me, but I never picked up. I'm in my pool on Monday after reading the 48 pages, and this man comes out, and we're the only 2 people in the pool. The bottom line is we're going out, and we had this fabulous conversation, and immediately I got that love is letting go of fear, that I had let go of this whole thing. And you, of all people, Thomas, I've done seminar after seminar and all that. And it was just like a freedom that it was like, so there was nothing to write our phone numbers down on. And so he said, oh, I have an idea. Go put your phone number in the manager's office and tell her it's for me, and I'll do the same. So I got a business card after we finished our conversation and went our separate ways, and I went in and gave it to the manager. Now, this manager is 27 years old, and I went in yesterday and talked to her about something, and she said, you were so giddy the way you came and gave me here I am, It's like, I just was like, I couldn't believe it, but this is the good news about listeners. I think I've told you, Thomas, and these girls, I've been listening to this Abraham Hicks thing, which is all about non-physical and physical and being in alignment and all of that. And I could see I'm really astute, like after you do the forum or any course or anything. And I knew the minute I walked upstairs, as I got tears in my eyes, and I said, I let go of the fear.
Yes, you did. Good for you. That's awesome. And what I heard also in what you said, Vandia, is when you're open-hearted, you feel giddy.
Yes.
So this might be something to take note of as we start to journal our experiences, because from this point on, you guys, I want you to keep, it's not like you have to sit down and write a diary. I don't write a diary. But if you have something to scribble notes on daily that you start to notice, because things this week, there will be movement that you've never had before. I promise.
In fact, I even said, good on Thomas, that's a quantum leap.
That is a quantum leap. Yes, it is.
Like, no kidding.
Yeah. Anybody else in your living room there that wants to say something? Ladies?
No. And no, we're good.
All right. Let me move on. I'd like to hear from Eric. I just don't know where you are, Eric, so you'll have to unmute yourself. In the meantime, we'll let Joanne speak. Go ahead, Joanne. Did we lose Eric? Maybe we lost him. Joanne, come to the front of the room.
I love the pictures in the book. I love the one where it shows the brain when it's covered with fear and guilt. And then I love the one where it shows love. I love the picture where the person's trying to live in the present and the past guilt and the future fear is like squishing the present out of them.
Yeah.
And I know
yeah.
I had read this book before, but I took on this time, here are the words that don't serve me. So what words am I going to eliminate out of my vocabulary? And I'm a little surprised how many of them I use on a regular basis. So that's a little bit of a homework assignment to take them out of my speaking.
Yeah, good, Joanne. Thank you. Awesome. Tanya, can I get something out of you?
It's been a tricky week. I'm not really sure what to say.
Yeah, okay. Did you listen to some of your book?
I did, and it's actually kind of funny. I'm wondering if the audio book is actually the same as the book, because the audio book is done in like an interview style, and it doesn't at all sound like what you guys are talking about.
Oh, no. All right. Well, you're going to have to let me take a look at that, because it's not done as an interview. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So do you and I need to talk about your tricky week? Do you need some support?
I don't know. I'm okay.
Are you? Okay. All right. I'm coming, Charlie. There you go. Charlie.
So one thing, I don't remember reading it before. So this is, for you guys listening, this is the second time through the book for me. And the section on forgiveness. And I was really confronted by it, but honestly and authentically, I can see that these are places to look.
Yeah, what were you confronted by, and what was the key point? Do you remember?
I got it right in front of me here.
All right.
Forgiveness means correcting, and this is, so he's defining he's defining forgiveness.
Distinguishing. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He's distinguishing it, yeah.
Yes. Forgiveness means correcting our misperception that the other person harmed us. It is certain of the interpretation it places on its perceptions of others. It is certain of its justification of its angers and correctness of its condemning judgment. And I looked at that and I'm going, well, I never looked at it that way before.
Yeah, and who are you thinking of? Are you thinking about your mother, or who are you thinking of when you consider this element of forgiveness is a misperception that somebody harmed us?
Both my parents.
Yeah, so let's consider that people do harm people, right? And there is a particular kind of harm. Now, it could be physical harm, and that's one kind of conversation. It could be emotional, and that's another kind of conversation. So let's distinguish, what does Dr. Jempowski refer to, or actually it's the Course in Miracles, because he's just giving his version of the Course. What is the Course in Miracles saying that forgiveness corrects our misperception? What do you think he means?
I'm thinking that he's meaning if we have an open heart, we can look without our judgments. I don't know. I'm making that up, but I can.
I know it's tough, right? It's tough because we have grown up in a defensive way. We are offensive and defensive. We are trying to protect a particular identity, and it's not who we really are. So this is a very high level of being. And you will get there when you get there, but I am going to give you what he means. And then you can play with it and massage it a bit, okay?
Yes.
So the Course says that we are not guilty. We've done many things, and you're still not guilty. You are guiltless. And when you can practice holding others guiltless, you get yourself as guilt-free. So the forgiven, consider it a gift or an honor to forgive. So once you can see yourself as guilt-free, it becomes easy to release everybody else. So it's a misperception that we are holding other people hostage and not even realizing that we're giving what we receive. So therefore, we're holding ourselves hostage as well. Does that communicate?
Yes, I get that.
I know it's kind of all over the map. But the good news is we'll be together soon and we can dig in a little deeper together, okay?
Thank you for that.
But good, very good work. Thank you for that. Deborah, I have you open. I don't know if it was on purpose or not. And if it wasn't, you don't have to say a word. You can just let me know to go on. Or if there's something you want to say, I'd like to let you do that.
You can go on.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know how it got opened up, but it was. Wade, yours is opened up also.
I just came back in, so that's probably the reason why.
Okay, right on. Okay, very good. So I'm going to give you guys some of what I pulled out as some of the key points that I think are important for us tonight. The first key point is what is real. Now, Charlie, think about that connected to what you and I were just talking about. What is real? See, we only consider real that which gets processed by our physical senses, because our body is the vehicle through which we experience life. Therefore, the only thing that we consider real is that which we experience. You understand? We see, we feel, we hear, we believe. So the question is, what is real? The second point is love / life energy, the powerful flow of life. So love is the powerful flow of life. Key point number 3, we are driven by prediction. It's much more important to us to predict the future than to live our life. Just notice how much of our conscious time is given to trying to figure out what's going to happen and how to control what's going to happen versus experiencing what's really happening. The next one, we confuse pleasure with pain. And the last one, peace of mind is our singleness of, peace of mind is our single goal. I'll type those up for you and send them out tonight. So I want to touch on a few things. You will receive an email after this webinar. It will say quantum in all caps, follow up to class 2. On that email will be the assignment from class 2. There will be a download of the heart meditation that we're about to do together. And it will tell you to do lesson 1 from the Love is Letting Go of Fear book. So you'll be doing lesson 1 Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay? And for those of you who don't yet have the book, and Tanya, don't worry, I've written it all out. So the whole lesson is written out for those who don't have the book so that you don't have to worry. I still want you to get the book, of course. And the first 48 pages are really important, but you'll be able to do the lesson without that. So don't anybody worry. You'll be right in the game. And there's also a link to a quantum page on my website where all the assignments, all the meditations are available. Okay? So that's the first email. Why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because a number of you didn't get the email last week And I didn't find out about it until yesterday or the day before. So listen, you're going to get the email tonight. You will have it by 9 p.m. That's when it'll go out. If you don't get that email tonight, I want you on my ass trying to figure out where it is so I make sure that everybody gets it. Because for some reason, it's either going to your spam or it's going to your promotional tab. We got to figure it out, and I need your help to do that, okay? 3 days from now, so there will be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you're going to be doing lesson 1. You're going to do lesson 2 on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and you're going to get an email that reminds you to switch your lesson. So that'd be your second email. Always from this course, there will be in the subject line, all caps, quantum, so that you know it's for this course. We're all together so far? Just shake your heads if we are. Okay, thanks. And then there's a third email, and I cannot flip and remember what that is. Let me see if it's here. Switch to number 2. Rasha, wait a minute, I'm going to wake you up here. Rasha. So there's the follow-up email. There's the switch lesson email. Why do I say, oh, the third email will give you the credentials for class 3, okay? So you should get 3 emails, 1 tonight, 1 Sunday night, and then Monday or Tuesday, I'll send you the credentials for class 3. If you don't get 3 emails from me, I want you on my ass figuring out where it is, okay? I'm asserting that you're all saying, okay. All right, good. Got it. All right. Last thing, I'm going to give you your assignment, and then we're going to go through the heart meditation. You'll be practicing the heart meditation daily. Journal your journey. You'll do lesson 1 from Love is Letting Go of Fear for 3 days, and then switch to lesson 2. And then lastly, think of yourself as the giver and receiver of love and lay love on everybody. All right, so that's the simple part. So now if you would, just get yourself in a comfortable position, a position not to sleep, because I can see eyes are getting heavy over there. We don't want sleep. I want your mind alert and the body relaxed. And if you would, bring your attention to your breath. And we bring attention to the breath because you see, your breath is always and already right now. And as you're bringing your attention to the breath, I want you to notice any tension or contractions in the body and just practice letting go. Let go first in the chest area around your heart space. Let that go. And notice the moment you let that go, your shoulders get loosened up and your breathing becomes easier. Very good. And as you're breathing, I want you to focus on breathing into the heart. And imagine that there's a window to the heart. And you're breathing in and out of that window. And in the very center of the window is a bright blue flame. I want you to fan that flame with your breath. Continue doing that and notice that thoughts are arising. You have thoughts. Don't resist the thoughts. Simply allow the thoughts to move through the window of the heart along with your breath, just like energy. And as it passes through the flame, imagine that those thoughts are being purified. And then breathe out the purity and quality of who you really are. In fact, that flame is a representation of the spirit that you are. Continue breathing through. Let go of any thought that doesn't serve you. And just continue to ride the breath with the thoughts through the flame and out. Intuitively being in touch with the space, I can see for some of you, you're being dominated by thinking. No problem. Don't resist it, but don't cling to it either. Just let it go. Thank you. And now notice that emotions and feelings are starting to arise. Again, don't resist them. Just allow them to ride on your breath through the window of the heart and through the flame, and allow them to be purified and breathe out the quality and purity of who you really are. Very good. Now bring all your attention to the body. Feel the sensations in the body. There might be a wiggling or jiggling, a buzzing. Just notice all the activity of your body. Those sensations are happening all on their own, with no effort and no thought from you. Just get conscious of all of that aliveness happening. Thank you. And now gently move your attention to hearing sounds. You can hear the sound of my voice and you can hear it perfectly. And I'm now going to stop speaking and I'm going to ask you to hear all the sounds around you right now. I know that thoughts are arising, let them go. Just allow hearing to happen and just notice that your hearing is happening on its own. No thinking or thought is necessary from you. Hearing is happening. And now gently open your eyes and notice seeing is happening. You see color, shapes, and movement. Seeing is happening without thought, effort, or decision on your part. Who is that? Who is that that's experiencing the seeing, experiencing the hearing, and experiencing the sensations in the body? Thank you. Bring your attention again back to the breath, the window of the heart, fanning the flame. And one more breath, and bring yourself back. So the recording of the meditation that I'm going to ask you to do is a little different, but it's the same. I mean, generally speaking. I'm going to ask you to do it once a day. The intention behind the meditation is to train your thinking and your awareness to let go of thought and to be present on demand. It's about a 10-minute meditation. Those of you who already have a practice of meditating, you don't have to change your practice. But I do want you to bring this one in because there's something that it trains that I can't quite tell you what it is until you get it. So I'm going to ask you to do this particular meditation for that reason, okay? So, love is life energy, and life energy is always flowing, except where fear exists. It's a block to love. What dissolves the fear, the block, is authentic forgiveness. And the only way to forgive outside yourself is to practice forgiving yourself. So what is it to forgive yourself? You forgive yourself for your humanity. You forgive yourself for hanging on to misperceptions. You forgive yourself for holding yourself and others guilty. For the forgiven, forgiving is a gift. So I'm going to give any of you an opportunity to share anything you'd like to share to be complete. And so we're finishing a little early due to the fact that we weren't able to do our groups effectively. And I trust that I'll be in communication with each one of you so that we can work out anything you need so that next week it'll be right on. Okay? So anybody? Anything you want to share to complete the evening? You're open already, Rasha, if you want to say something. I opened you earlier and forgot to call on you.
I just really enjoyed this meditation.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
I've been doing it all week, and it is super, super powerful. And I just want to close with saying that the question that you posed earlier is also quite powerful, which is what is real? It's been really interesting playing with that one.
Yeah. And on a different note, just for a second, you and Joanne partnered to make sure we got attendance. So all the phone numbers that don't have names on them, I don't know what you did about that, but I figure you did something because you're awesome. All right. Thank you, Rasha. I appreciate it. Let's see. Somebody else had their hand up, but I think it was Charlie. Yeah, there you go, Charlie.
Just a question. I noticed this is being recorded.
Yes, it is.
Can we view it again? This is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. You'll have the recording available.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for asking. Yeah. Anybody else? Okay. So thank you, each and every one of you, whatever you dealt with to be here. and to be on time. Thank you. Thank you for everything you provide. I appreciate you. I honor you. I respect you, and I love you. I look forward to next Thursday. Remember, you're going to get 3 emails, and if you don't, you're coming after me, right? Okay. If anybody wants to hang out, the meeting is over. I'm going to stop the recording, but I'm going to hang out in case there's any